Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Today is Jagannatha Rath Yatra, so we'll continue our discussion of Lord Jagannath. In order to understand Lord Jagannath properly and his deepest essence, we need to understand Sri Krishna and Krishna's moods. Mahaprabhu had external desires and an external mission to fulfill, and also internal desires and an internal mission to fulfill. So Krishna also came to this world for different reasons. Brahma prayed to Lord Vishnu along with Prithvi Devi, the earth personified in the form of a cow, to protect her and to relieve the burden of all the demonic kings. And so Krishna, partly he came to destroy the demons and protect the sadhus. But this is more like Krishna's external mission. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chaduskritam. Krishna said, I come and I protect the sadhus and I destroy the demons. So this is one external reason for Krishna's appearance. But we learn from our acharyas that the deeper reason for Krishna's appearance is Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham dehamashrita yadrisi tadrisi krida. That Krishna appeared out of his great compassion to reveal his sweet loving pastimes in Braj in his human-like form, and in this way to give mercy to all the devotees who are experiencing separation from him, as well as all the jivas who were starting to awaken into their true consciousness and developing their desire to have a relationship with him. So this is Krishna's deeper reason for appearing. Krishna manifested his very sweet pastimes in this world in Braj. These pastimes Krishna manifested in Braj, in this world, are always going on in his own eternal abode, which is beyond matter. Vaikuntha means beyond the material world, and even higher than Vaikuntha is Braj. So in that transcendental realm of Braj, Krishna is always performing sweet pastimes with the Brajabasis or the Brajagopis. He appears in this world to show those pastimes. So to understand Jagannath, we need to understand Krishna. And to understand Krishna, we need to understand Krishna leela in Braj and Krishna's love and relationship with the Brajagopis. And to understand that Krishna leela, we need to take shelter of the Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. And then to understand the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to understand the commentaries and the further illuminations of the Bhagavatam by the Goswamis who elaborated Krishna leela. In the 10th canto, there's 90 chapters, and half or so is in Braj, and then afterwards it's his pastimes outside of Braj. And Sukadeva Goswami spoke this in 7 days. He didn't have so much time to speak to Parikshit Maharaj, and so Braj Katha was only for maybe a day or less. So how much can you say in one day? So the Goswamis, in all their books, they further elaborated on the pastimes in Braj, like Govinda Lilamrita, Krishna Bhavanamrita, and all these sweet books. And they revealed how sweet and attractive Krishna's pastimes in Braj are. In Braj, Krishna's relationship with the Brajabasis is based on pure love without any other motivation or any desire for opulence. In this world, when people worship God, mostly they want some material prosperity from it, or some happy situation, or relationship with family and other things. They're distracted with many different things. But in Braj, the gopis especially are completely pure. They don't have attachment to anything but Krishna. Pati sutanvaya bratri bandivan ativilangate antachutagatha. They gave up their family, they gave up husband, responsibilities, everything just for Krishna. Beje mukunda padavim shrutibing swarmigvam. Therefore, even Brahma and the demigods meditate and pray upon the gopis, because it's very hard to give up these attachments. And the gopis are the best example of giving everything just for the sake of Krishna and fully taking up that call of Krishna's flute, which means that is the song of divine love. Krishna calling out to us, come to me and forget everything else. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityaja, give up everything and come to me. Man mana bhava mad bhakto, always remember me and my pastimes. And then you will be happy. So Krishna shows these pastimes in transcendental Braj. These are always going on, but he gives us a glimpse of his eternal reality by appearing in this world and manifesting his pastimes. So when Krishna appeared in Braj, he spent 9.5 years playing in Braj in the different rasas with his mother, in his Gopal leela, stealing butter from the Brajabasis and meeting with the gopis as a child, playing with his cowherd friends, taking the cows out to graze in the pastures and the fields of Braj. But the essence of that was his pastimes was his meetings with the gopis, Ras Leela. And the Ras Leela was there to establish ultimately the glory of Srimati Radhika. So Krishna performed these immeasurably sweet pastimes in Braj. And also many sadhan siddhas had appeared in Braj, and they took shelter of the Nitya Siddha gopis and further progressed. They were further progressing in Vastu Siddhi, having through many thousands of years done austerity. Finally they took birth in Braj from the wombs of the gopis and entered Krishna leela. So Krishna revealed his pastimes in Braj for 9.5 years. And these pastimes are eternally going on, and many other pastimes, but he is giving us like some glimpse here. But then Narad Rishi came once to Braj and told Krishna, you know, if you're only absorbed here in Braj, what about the rest of the world? And what about your promise to free the burden of the demons? That many demons have come to Braj and you've liberated them, but what about the rest of the demons who haven't come? What about all the demonic kings? Mostly the demons who are coming to Braj were like, described in the Bhagavatam to be like shape-shifting wizards. But they are not the kings, the demonic kings like Jarasandha, Shishupal, Kamsa, and many others. So Narad reminded Krishna, you promised to come and free the burden the earth. So Krishna was thinking, he didn't want to go. But there were many reasons why Krishna had to go. On one hand, it said, Vrindavanam prityaja param ekam nagachati, that Krishna never leaves a footstep out of Braj. So when Krishna left Braj, he took bath at this one ghat when he was leaving. And at that time, Akrura ghat. Akrura saw that when he was bathing, he saw that Krishna and Baladev were sitting in his chariot and also bathing with him. And those Krishna and Baladev who were there bathing, they stayed in Braj. And then Krishna's first expansions, Mathuresh Krishna or Dwarkadish Krishna and Baladev, they left Braj. And they went and performed their activities. But in the manifest Braj, then Krishna was not present. Later when Uddhava came to Braj to console the Brajabasis, when he first entered Braj, he saw Krishna leela going on. And he thought, I thought Krishna was in Mathura, but everything is going on. And he was amazed. All the pastimes of Krishna were going on. But then it disappeared. It was just a spurti. And so this is a glimpse of another prakosht or dimension. Krishna's leela is going on in many different prakosths. Like we say, millions and millions of jivas are always being liberated in the different universes and going to Krishna leela and Braj. So they cannot all serve in the same kunj. There may be tens and millions of manjaris serving Radhika. How can they all serve at once? How can all the sakhas be with Krishna at once? Therefore, there are different prakosht. A prakosht means a different division. What? Raining. A different division or department. That's a prakosht. So in manifest Braj, Krishna disappeared. He left. But in reality, Krishna was still present in Braj. But Krishna left to... He had to fulfill his duty, but then he also, what did he really want? He wanted to spread the glory of Braj. He thought, I have come to this world and showed my pastimes in Braj, but this is Madhurya Leela. But how can I show Adharya? Or Darya Leela means spreading this mercy to everyone. This is called magnanimity. So therefore he left Braj. He wanted to glorify the Brajabasis. But leaving Braj, when he went to Mathura and then later to Dwaraka and traveled, he saw that people could not understand the moods and glories of the Brajabasis. They could not understand who Krishna's real family members were and why Krishna had such a loving relationship with them. When Krishna married the 16,108 queens in Dwaraka, Krishna, even though he had such a huge city and palaces and so much opulence, still, and so many beautiful wives, each more beautiful than millions of goddesses of fortune, still Krishna did not appear happy. Every day he would be crying himself to sleep, calling out Radhe, Ha Radhe, Ha Lalite, Ha Vishake. And the queens were thinking, we're here in the same bed with Krishna, and it's like it's like an insult, if you're married and every night your husband is not talking to you, not sweetly embracing or speaking with you, and he's just crying into his pillow the names of his girlfriends in his youth. Ha Radhe, Ha Lalite, Ha Vishake. So Rukmini, Satyabhama, and the other queens were very disturbed, thinking, this Krishna, we married him and we serve him so nicely, and still he's not thinking about us, still he's not talking happily with us. If you're in a relationship, if the person is reciprocating with you nicely or not. And so Krishna is just always pining for Braj. And so they're thinking, what is this? It's very strange. And so they asked Rohini, what is so special about Braj? Why is he always thinking about the gopis? They were thinking maybe it's like your first love is very sweet and it's hard to forget. But they couldn't understand fully what is the sweetness of Srimati Radhika's love and the Brajadevi's love and the Brajavasi's love. It's completely pure, spotless and uncontaminated, without any other desire or any personal motivation. Also, that's why it's Samartha Rati. There's 3 kinds of love. Samartha Rati means fully capable of controlling Krishna with their love. So the queens of Dwarka don't have that Samartha Rati. They have Samanjasya, which is okay, they have love for Krishna, but it's not able to control him. And also they're in the mood of Dasya. They're wives of Krishna, and they're in the mood of service. Even though they have some romantic love, Madhurya, still, predominantly, it's in a mood of submissiveness. They don't have Radhika's Vamya Bhav. Satyabhama has a little bit of Vamya Bhav, which is able to please Krishna. Because she's also one expansion of Srimati Radhika. And Rukmini's expansion of Chandravali. Chandravali appeared as Rukmini, and she had the dominant role as being the first queen of Krishna. But Satyabhama, who is Radhika, she had a more sweet relationship with Krishna, even in Dwarka. When Narad brought the Parijat flower from heaven, he said, I've brought a Parijat flower, give it to your favorite queen. So he gave it to Rukmini because he was his first queen, and he thought the others will not be jealous. But then Satyabhama went into Man Leela. Rukmini doesn't go into Man so much, but Satyabhama went into Man Leela. And so Krishna went to heaven to pacify her. He went to heaven and stole a whole tree. This Parijat tree is very special. These flowers are only found in heaven. And Indra even fought Krishna for this. Even though Indra had been defeated in Braj, when he tried to defeat the Brajavasis, when he saw Krishna stopped Indra's worship and lifted Giriraj, for 7 days Indra attacked Braj. And then afterwards he begged forgiveness and did so much, but still he didn't change. So Krishna is so difficult to change people's nature. When Krishna was in Dwarka, he went to get a tree of these flowers from heaven to bring to his queen. And Indra fought him with all the devas. And Krishna defeated them all with his Garuda and brought the tree and gave it, the whole tree he planted in the courtyard of Satyabhama. And then Satyabhama was happy, seeing, now I've defeated my old co-wife, my foe, Chandravali, now I've defeated her. But still, in Dwarka it said that the queen's love is divided between their sons and their relatives, and they're looking after all their family affairs. The Yaduvanshi is 56 crores. So millions and millions of Yaduvanshis, Krishna's family. Each queen had 10 sons and 1 daughter. And each of those sons and daughters had 10 sons and 1 daughter. So they had to marry, all these boys had to get married outside the Yadu line. But still, the queens were divided from Krishna. But Krishna wanted them to understand that specialty of Braj. He wanted all the jivas to realize the specialty of Braj. In Braj, the purity, the sweetness, the naturalness, and the depth of that Madhurya cannot be found anywhere else. That sweetness is not found anywhere else. People think, I'll be happy when I live in a big, like Dwarka was a big metropolis, big city, millions of people, very modern. Nowadays people think, I want to live in like Manhattan, New York City or somewhere, big modern city, and I'll be happy. The more science develops, the more material facilities we have, the more happy we'll be. But this is not true actually. Unless we have a sweet, loving relationship and actually we cannot find that unless we're in a relationship with Krishna in our true constitutional nature. We think we're searching for happiness in this world, we're not fulfilled, and then we think, okay, by all these material arrangements we'll become happy. But Krishna wanted to show that that's not possible. And that's why Krishna, after he left, within a few days, Dvaraka disappeared into the ocean. Some people say Dvaraka is like Atlantis, disappeared into the ocean. And Krishna showed, all the Yaduvangshi dynasty fought with and killed each other. And they didn't respect the sadhus, and therefore they were all cursed, and they fought with and killed each other. But the Brajabasis never fought with each other. The Brajabasis, how they fight is during Holi, you play one stick dance. This is the most they fight. This is only a dancing and playing with sticks. Like they have like some kind of sword fighting stick dance. 2 sticks each. Or in Holi, they throw flowers at pollen at each other or colors at each other. They shoot each other with syringes. They will play in Radha Kund with each other, Jal Vihar. The Sakhas and some Sakhis will sometimes join different parties and fight. In Radha Krishna Ganadesh Dipika, it's described the Sakhis, some of them have the service of pyrotechnics. Meaning, some Sakhis prepare bombs and things like that. But what are the bombs made of? Like flower grenades. You know, you throw this bomb and it explodes and flower pollen goes everywhere. So when the Sakhis and the Sakhas fight, the Sakhis prepare all these different weapons for their battles. Prabhupada would describe very sweet pastimes about the battles between the Sakhas and the Sakhis. So this is the nature of Braj. Everything is sweet and pure. But outside, everyone's fighting only to get some ananda happiness. Ultimately, they're not satisfied themselves. So they're always fighting and trying to take other people's territory over, fighting for land, possessions. And that's what we see in this world. Everyone's always just fighting, trying to be happy, trying to get a nice position. But they're not fulfilled inside, they're disturbed inside, therefore they're disturbing others. So Krishna wanted to show people, come to Braj, there you'll be happy. Come to Braj. In Braj you can be happy. And give up everything else and come to me. So Krishna, after he disappeared, said, Jagannath appears in many different ways. There's many different pastimes of Jagannath's appearance. Yesterday we talked about Jagannath's appearance by the meditation and prayers of Indradumna Maharaj, and we heard it this morning from Prabhuji. So this is in Satyuga, in the very beginning of creation, long time ago. But still, Jagannath is Krishna. So we can say Krishna appeared only 5,000 years ago. How can Jagannath be Krishna? But Krishna is not like the sun rises one morning. You don't say, the sun took birth today. When the sun rises, you don't say, the sun was born, and when the sun sets, the sun died. So Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago like the sun rising. But Krishna is eternally in Braj, and therefore he's always appearing in these different worlds to show his leela and to attract people towards his abode, where they can truly be happy. But Krishna is eternally in Braj. So Jagannath appeared and he is Krishna. How can you see that? In other incarnations of Vishnu, Krishna is not incarnation, he is the root of the incarnations. But in South India you see many deities, they are like Vishnu Tattva, Ananta Padmanabh, Bal Gopal, Madhavacharyas, he is Braj mood. But mostly they're like Narayan in South India, or Ram. But Jagannath is directly Krishna. What is the praman, the proof? He is with his brother and sister, Baladev and Subhadra. Subhadra in the middle. So it said that, we heard yesterday, when the one appearance of Jagannath, the second one we heard. One is to Indradumna Maharaj. Then the second appearance we heard is when Rohini was speaking Braj Katha to the queens, because the queens were saying, why is Krishna always crying and calling out Radhe Radhe, and he's not talking with us, he's not eating nicely. Everything here is so nice, such a nice facility, still he's not happy. So Rohini was describing the glories of Braj, and then Krishna Baladev came running, and Subhadra is at the gate saying, no, you can't come in. And as she was trying to hold them back like this, and they heard this katha, they began to melt, because we heard they're just pure divine mood. And so they melted in the ecstasy of love and assumed this form of Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra. And then Narad Rishi came. Narad Rishi had been in Braj telling Krishna, you should come and fulfill your duties outside. So then Narad Rishi again came and said, Krishna, you should make this form eternal. And everyone should worship this form of you as Jagannath. Melted in divine love. Prema Maya Kalevara. His body is the very form of divine, very thick sneha, love. So this Jagannath appeared in that time. But also, when Krishna was in Dvaraka, another instance of Jagannath's appearance. When Krishna was in Dvaraka, one time there was the solar eclipse. So Krishna went to Kurukshetra because it's a very auspicious place, and they observed the solar eclipse there. And Krishna sent an invitation to the Brajabasis. 100 years had passed since Krishna left Braj. So all the Brajabasis, hearing that Krishna himself was inviting them, before they didn't go because they thought, oh, Krishna is not calling us. We don't want to disturb him, lay siege to Mathura, Dwarka. They didn't do that. But Krishna invited them, then they all came. And for 1 month they were staying there. But they stayed in their own area. Like they made their own community out of all their bullock carts. And they made their own little community. Every day they would make dalia, milk porridge. And they would eat very simply. And all the kings and other Yadavas were present. Also other kings were there. So there in Kurukshetra, Krishna met with the gopis again. And there Krishna met with Radhika. And Radhika said, you are the same Krishna, I am the same Radha. And yet here you are surrounded by so much opulence, by your kingly attire, and we don't have that same sweetness of Braj. Please come back to Braj. Come back to Braj. There everything is very sweet. There my heart and Braj is the same thing. So if you want to please me, come into my heart and come into Braj. So Radhika was saying like that. And Krishna was also feeling like, I have to go, I have to return. I have done my external work in this world, we have to do our dharma. So Krishna is saying, I've done my dharma now, but there's only a little bit left to do, I'll soon come back. When Krishna was in Dwarka, again Narad Rishi came. So when Krishna was in Kurukshetra, and he was meeting with the gopis, after that, again Narad came, and Narad said, oh Krishna, you married so many queens without my permission. And you didn't give me any dakshin, I am your guru. Narad is actually expansion of Madhumangal, who is Krishna's Sakha in Braj. And so he's always playing, Madhumangal is like the crest jewel of Hasyaras. Hasyaras means laughing, joking, playing, or humor. So Narad Rishi also likes to enhance this in outside Braj. So he told Krishna, you didn't give me any dakshin, I'm your guru, how did you get married? So then he said, okay, give me your weight in gold. So Krishna sat on one side of a scale, and all the queens said, okay, we're very wealthy, we'll give you, Narad didn't say gold. He said, give me Krishna's weight in something. So Krishna sat on one side. Krishna is Ananta Brahmanda Nayak, the Lord and Master of all the millions of universes. How can anything equal the weight of Krishna? Within his stomach, Damodar, the entire cosmic creation of millions of universes resides. So even though Rukmini Satyabrahma brought all their gold and jewels, like in Braj, Yashoda, in Braj, Yashoda tried to bind Krishna's waist. And she had to bring more and more and more rope, but she was still 2 fingers short. And finally, when she prayed and when Krishna's heart melted, then she was able to bind him. So in Dwarka, in Kurukshetra, then the queens brought all their bangles, all their necklaces, all their earrings, and all this wealthy gold and jewels, and still it did not equal Krishna's weight. And so then Narad said, ask the Brajabasis if they have anything if they can do anything. So they took all the gold and jewels off the scale. Krishna was sitting there. And they went to Rukmini and Satyabhama had to go and, oh, Radhe. For 100 years, they'd been seeing Krishna all night, sleeping and chanting Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Every night, Krishna's just chanting Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. So Krishna wanted them to take shelter of Srimati Radhika. Like the Sadhan Siddha Gopis took shelter of Radhika in the Rasa dance. When Radhika left the Rasa dance, then the Sadhan Siddha Gopis realized Radhika is how glorious and how small we are. And so they took shelter of Radhika. So Krishna wanted the Dwarka queens also to realize the glories of Radhika. And so the Dwarka queens came and prayed to Srimati Radhika, oh, can you help us? Narad saying he will curse us if we do not give him some dakshin in Krishna's weight. So Radhika took 1 tulsi leaf. This is showing the glory of tulsi. She took 1 tulsi leaf and she bathed it with 1 tear. And she gave it to Rukmini and said, take this. So Rukmini took it, put it on the scale, and immediately the tulsi leaf and the scale came down and Krishna came up. And everyone started clapping and glorifying Srimati Radhika. And so then they gave this tulsi leaf to Narad, and Narad began to dance in ecstasy. He took this tulsi leaf and began to dance and sing in ecstasy. Narad Muni Bajai Vina Radhika Ramana Nam. So I think we're out of time here. You can check it.